Okay, I'm back, guys. I'm going to have to do something. I think it's something involving my internet connection. I don't know what's up with that. So I might have to go in another part of the house to do this because this is the third weekend in a row that I had an interruption. And I do apologize for that. So what I may do is with these videos, instead of having part one and two, is I'm going to splice them together. As far as the rebroadcast, I'm going to splice them together so it'll be one video. And I do apologize for those people who showed up earlier. Um, Ali and Taha. I'm back if you guys are here. And I'm sorry I missed you guys. But anyway, I was talking about a video recap, so I'm going to go ahead and start over from here. And hopefully we won't get interrupted again. But I'm going to check into this week. I think it's the reception in this house. Because usually when I do it up front, the kitchen table, I don't run into that problem. But the past couple of weeks that I've been doing it in another room of the house, the reception's not been good. So I'm going to go back to my regular station next week, and the reception will probably be a little bit better. And I apologize for that. Yeah, I was talking about Sunday's video was jealousy breeds success. When I talk about when you're trying to strive for something and the people around you don't fully understand your purpose and what you're doing. And a lot of people who don't understand things, sometimes they perceive that as a threat and they'll act out. And part of them acting out is attacking you and your efforts. And that's just a form of jealousy. And what happens is that you feel a little bit alone, you get tired, you get worn out because nobody's there to support you. But in the end, it actually toughens you. It makes you appreciate what you have. It makes you stronger so you could deal with the responsibilities associated with that success. So that's why I call it jealousy breeds success. So that was last Sunday's video. And last Monday's video, I touched on this therapy as kryptonite. And I shared a little bit in regards to my experience I had to deal with regarding the mental illness and substance abuse, of which are past problems. A lot of people don't want to deal with psychotherapy or psycho anything because they feel it's a threat because of what they were taught according to their tradition or religion or whatever the case may be. But they fail to realize that these people are healers just like they are physical medical healers to deal with the ailments in regards to our body, and the brain is a part of our body. So why can't these people help you and be looked at in the same light as people who um, handle the body? Why not? And a lot of it has to do with a lot of the prejudices associated with that. Um, because it really, really helped me. And just because a person is involved in therapy does not make them a heretic. It doesn't make them a non-believer or anything like that. Um, what they're doing is trying to address their problem that even though it's not physically seen, but it's manifested in different ways. And I believe that a lot of these people are gifted, and it does take a lot of energy to have to deal with somebody's psychological issues. So, I utilized that. I utilized the rehab treatment. I utilized, I developed a closer relationship with God during that point and started my journey to self-discovery. I also, I stayed connected as far as, believers. So, you can do all that at the same time as well as go through therapy. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And I think a lot of us were led to believe that it could be one or the other because of some, doctrine or tradition. But what you're doing is you're actually putting your own health and your own livelihood in jeopardy because you're not addressing problems that should be addressed mentally, and it can affect your entire world. So I say pull out all the stops. Once there's a problem, pull out all the stops. Use everything around you to make it better, to get better. And that's what I did. So that was Monday's video, Therapy is Kryptonite, because that's the way some people look at it. Tuesday's video was pseudo relationships. This was a interesting one because I kind of give a case study of someone who actually thought in their mind that there was a relationship going on with someone, and there are a lot of people that they mistake attention for affection, and that's not necessarily true. Um, just because somebody pays attention to you, maybe they just want your friendship, or they could have darker motives. They may want something from you. And a lot of people misinterpret it because of loneliness or because of attachment issues. They create this whole scenario in their mind that does not exist, be it romantic relationship or friendship, and it just does not exist. And it can happen from one chance meeting or one or two random occurrences. All of a sudden, there's this thing that doesn't exist. So Tuesday's video was on pseudo relationships, and it talks about that. Wednesday's video talks about atheists and agnostics, and I go into detail. Now, when some people see the title, they think that I'm going to start bashing people, and we don't do that over here. So I've noticed in my experience, having to deal with the world and living in different places, that a lot of people are atheists and agnostics for two main reasons. And one of the reasons is that they were disappointed in life, felt that they got a dealt a bad hand. They suffered a lot of misfortune, and because of the misfortune that they suffered, they feel that there is no higher power, that there is no God, because they base that belief on the fact that they had it rough. And they don't understand. Their first thought is, if there really is this spirit or this God, why am I going through this when I haven't done anything to anybody? So a lot of them are disappointed and disillusioned in life, and that's why a lot of them don't believe in a higher power. um, the second reason is that they may believe that there is a higher power, but they don't understand a lot of the things that are being taught. They could be overwhelmed by the different religious denominations and doctrines and feel it's just too much to try to understand, or they're just literally confused or have been either misguided or misled by a spiritual leader or a tradition that something is right when indeed in society's eyes it's wrong, and they just don't see any logic in it. So instead of just trying to navigate through that, they'll just throw their hands up and say, well, if there is no God, because look at all this is going on in the world, look at what's going on with people. So that's two of the reasons I think that atheists and agnostics have the belief that they have. Review that video. It just aired this past Wednesday. Thursday, bloodlines or blood twists. Now, this is where I address the old adage where people say blood is thicker than water. Blood may be thicker than water, but the blood could be tainted. And I talk about that because some people will turn around and say family is everything when it's not. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that based on their traditions or based on their doctrine. If you're happy in your family dynamic, that's fine, but there are a lot of dysfunctional families where it's nothing but toxicity, and sometimes it's best to love from a distance. So I addressed that in my video list that I call Bloodlines and Blood Twists, and that was Thursday. And on Friday was verb tense confusion. And I do a little bit of a talk, and a lot of us have already dealt with that one person who's just stuck in a stage. They're stuck back in high school, middle school, elementary school. That's all they talk about. That's all they think about, because that was the best time of their life, or the most pivotal time, or the most influential time of their life. They're not living in the present. And when they address you, they always want to bring up old stuff, whether it's bad or good, because that's the only conversation that they have. They're living in the past. Some of them even manifest it by dressing a certain way, or the house looks a certain way, or the things that they possess are reflective of that past time. So, they're living in an area of the past. Instead of dealing with the present, they substitute that past as a main means of coping with the present, because the present is just too disappointing for them. So that's verb tense confusion. That was on Friday. And yesterday's video was called Love is Blinding, and that's pretty self-explanatory, guys. They say love is blind, but Sometimes when you get so close to a person, all you see is just the love that you have for them, and you don't want to accept the things that are actually going on. And that can be a dangerous situation. So those were my videos for last week, and if you didn't have a chance to watch them, they are on my playlist, so feel free to do so. And I want to thank you very much for coming. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Now, I do want to make reference to one of my favorite channels I like to watch, and I know this is kind of not related to what I just talked about with the channels, I mean with the videos, but I watch, sometimes I'll watch police cam videos, and sometimes I'll watch videos of people that perform thefts, or some people that commit crimes, and some of them, some people who get evicted. And the reason why is because I want to see people's reaction to things. It's not me wallowing in the fact that somebody got evicted, because believe me, once upon a time I did. I was one of those people. But I'm just looking at the behavior of some people nowadays in regards, I study a lot of behavior, for those of you who don't know. I mean, I have a degree in psychology, that's what I do. I'm like to people watch, and I like to study people's behavior, and it kind of helps me deal with the world as far as trying to handle people. And also my day job during the week is customer service, so I'm also interacting with people in the world. And it just amazes me that, when they say that this world is in trouble, it's not so much the world as the people in it. There are a lot of troubled and disturbed people in the world. But there are some people that are just confused about this life thing, and they're just out here. And there's this channel called Final Notice with Othniel Penn, and his name is spelled Othneel. Final Notice with Othniel Penn. And what I'll do is in the description of this video and the one that I did a few minutes ago, I'll go ahead and put a link to his channel. You might want to check it out. He's a Memphis process server in Memphis, Tennessee, and what he does is he wears his body cam, and when he serves the eviction notices, he gauges the reactions of people. Now, this is my thing. He's a process server, but he has the rights of a civil servant, of a law enforcement officer. He is a clerk of the court, which means he's armed, just like, the police and that type of thing. He has all the rights and thereof in regards to evictions. So he's an officer. And I see the behavior of people in their reactions to officers. And I have to come straight out and say, it has to be a form of demon possession, because it makes no sense to me. No sense at all. If you're being approached by a person who is law enforcement, who has a gun, you don't. Who has taser, you don't. Possibly maybe a billy club or stick, depending on what country you live in. And pepper spray or mace. This person is armed with 3 or 4 different weapons on their person, and they're law enforcement, and they approach you to do something. And I see people trying to combat these people. It makes no sense to me. I'm thinking common sense here. If you see someone has a weapon and you don't, they have the capability of detaining you, attacking you, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to talk about police brutality. That's a different story. I'm talking about just a traditional setting. I watch videos of people getting pulled over by their cars because they're erratic. And when they get out the car, they want to wrestle. And why are you wrestling and fighting and running away from these people when they have the capability of killing you? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And if you live in an area where there is a problem with corruption and that type of thing in regards to the law, I hate to say this, but you need to move. Just move. Go somewhere else. It'd be easier to do that than to try to fight. And I know for a lot of people it's hard to move. It is. Especially if you got family ties and that type of thing. But, we only have one life here. One. There's no guarantee that you're going to come back as a being, and if you do, if it's a human, it might be a dog, a bird, or a chicken. We don't know, and we won't know until it's too late. So, for me, it's about quality of life. Sit down and find out what you need to have peace in your life, and if the powers that be in your city or your state does not allow you to have that, then you need to start making arrangements to go. People do it every single day. That's what you have the power within you to do, is to control your peace of mind, to control your sanity. You have that. And to allow some government or law enforcement or anything else interfere with that, that's a problem. But in a traditional circumstance, if you pulled over for a infraction, or you've been driving erratically, or you're wanted or something like that, your best bet is to comply with what the officer is telling you, because they have the capability, because of the weaponry that they have that you don't have. You can impose physical harm on you, and I see these people wrestling like animals and everything else. I don't feel sorry for them. Because if I see that type of firepower, that type of weaponry coming at me, and all they ask for is my driver's license or my registration, or all they ask for is for me to stand out the car. Like I said, I'm not talking about the police brutality videos. Those are extreme situations. I'm talking about a standard stop. Standard. Okay? Why are you fighting these people? Why? You don't have anything to fight back with. You don't have any weapons. I mean, do you actually think you're going to win? You can't. And in the meantime, you're building charges against you. So, if it's that oppressive and it bothers you that much in your place, and there is an option to be free from it, and it's outside of your realm to do anything about it, then go. Spirit created this entire world, and that city or that town or whatever that you live in is such a small part of it. And no matter where you go, Spirit's going to be with you if you have that relationship. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, Spirit's going to be with you. It's got you. But there's no guarantee that you're going to come back as whatever, or have a next life as whatever, as a human, and do this all over again. There's no guarantee of that. So why not make a better quality of life for yourself now? Why not? And I know it's hard for a lot of you, but if it's oppression that's interfering with your sanity, interfering with your peace, and there are options available to you, take them. So you could be here to be a testament. So you could be here to tell a better story. But anyway, I'm not going to preach anymore on that. But anyway, I thank you guys for showing up today. Again, thank you so much for the growth. Don't forget, the contest ends this Thursday, the 14th, 8:59 p.m. Email your answers to me only, and make sure that you are actively subscribed at the time of the drawing. I'm going to check. I had to eliminate a few names last month, which was our first month, because people were emailing me answers, and when I checked to see if they were subscribed, the math wasn't mathing. So if the math is not mathing, then that means somebody is not active. So you have to be active subscriber. It's a subscriber drawing that I came up with as a thank you for supporting the channel. This is my thank you for those who are ride or die. So I appreciate that. If you came over from another platform and joined my channel, thank you. If you came from TikTok or Facebook, I'm grateful for that. But again, I want to thank you for coming today. And I've got to get ready to go because, this is Sunday. I do cooking and cleaning, and I need to get started. But anyway, Thank you for all of you who came in. I try to answer the comments within at least 24 to 48 hours. So if you leave any comments or send me any emails, I try to reply back within 1 or 2 days. And I just thank you so much for this. But anyway, I'm truly grateful. Videos come out every day after midnight. And lives are going to be on Sunday at 10 a.m. If there are any changes to the live schedule or any cancellations, please watch the community tabs, watch the community pages, because I will post that. But as it stands, next week we will be here, same time. Not sure what I'm going to talk about yet, but I might put it in the community tab. But anyway, I'll see you guys next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Deanna, and this is my channel, REGGIRT.